Welcome back to Attitude for Results presented by Teamwork Online. I'm your host, Tanner Natsky. If you're watching on YouTube or Spotify, or as you continually watch our TikTok and Instagram, look at that. We're hot here, and we don't edit anything, and we're not perfect, so we're going to keep rolling. You see that Hunter's next to me. Hunter is the man behind all of the episodes, and today he gets to sit on the same table as me. This will not be an interview. This is a dual episode, and so we're excited to have Hunter with us today as we talk about...
We are going to talk about the itch. That one that's right here. The itch that I can't quite scratch. We're going to dive into that today, Tanner.
I love it. Today we have something special. If you are following us on social media, thank you. If you're not, let's do that right away. We have a brand new camera that we just got. And so today's episode might not be great because it's pretty light over here. However, the following episodes are going to be beautiful. We just bought this brand new camera, and by we, I mean my wife got it for me as a wedding present for us. And so, one, I appreciate her for always having the opportunity to help us grow. She sees the value in this as much as we see the value in helping you, and it is awesome to have people on your team like that. We have a new social media team in season 2, and we are doing all this for you guys. We really, truly believe as school starts this year that we are going to blow this thing up across college campuses across America, and we're going to do this together. This is not me talking to you or Hunter talking to you. This is us growing together. We have a platform that has an opportunity to impact people, but it only goes to one person if you're the only person that listens to it. It does not grow unless you share this with other people. So, as school is starting out, for all of our college listeners, share this with your friends, your classmates, and anybody who will listen to you. Hunter's going to tell you what today's episode is about, and we are going to dive right in.
So our agenda today, being able to lay that out for you guys, we have helped you conquer the mountain of fear and second thoughts. After episode 1, you learned how to quit delaying your start. We gave you actionable steps to get active right now. There's no better time than right now. Moving forward into episode 2, we gave you the framework and tools on how to have an effective day, how to make sure that you maximize each opportunity. Now, with the framework from those 2 episodes, you have the skill set and the mindset to scratch that itch. You're going to go chase that dream. You are going to break the mold. You will be different, which in today's age is a phenomenal thing, a great thing. And what's that going to all compile into? You're going to be elite.
I love it. Today, people in today's world are lazy, and most people are losers. Guess what? They are. After today's episode, you will have the tools to create actionable steps, actionable next steps on your journey to becoming great, your journey to becoming successful, your journey to becoming elite. I'm going to start you off with a quick stat, and it's pretty staggering. I heard this stat the other day, so don't quote me on it. Quote the guy that I heard it from. 50% of Americans have $0 in their savings account. 0. You want to be elite? You want to be better than 50% of America? Have $1 in your savings account. We're going to give you tools today to be elite. But guess what? If you have $1 in your savings account, you are better than 50% of America. So it's not that hard because people are lazy. And yeah, losers is a pretty harsh term. But guess what? There's a lot of losers in today's society. And guess what? There are still winners and losers in today's society. A lot of people in the world will tell you that there's not. But there are. There are winners and there are losers. What side do you want to be on? What side do you want to be on? We're going to hammer home a couple ideas. Some of you may have heard before. It took me 3 or 4 times listening to Rob Dial and the Mindset Mentor as he said in my ear while I was working out to tell me to pursue my passion before I actually started this podcast. So some of what we say today, you've heard before. That's great. Some of what we say today is brand new and will impact you. What is this itch that Hunter's talking about? Is it the one on your back? Is it the one on your leg? Why do your ears always itch? I don't know. What is this itch? The itch is the consistent drive to be better, the consistent passion to seek more, to do more. The itch is avoiding being complacent. Why do people come back from conferences, from new networking events, motivated, filled, ready to move mountains, but never take action? Because being in that environment gives them the itch. It's great to have the itch. How do you keep it? That's what we're going to dive into today.
Tanner just laid out what is the itch, and I think whenever you dive into something new, you must define it, you must figure out what it is. We now know what the itch is. How do we attack it? How do we scratch the itch that we can never seem to scratch? First, whenever you dive into this, you have to avoid being reckless. As most things in life, don't be impatient, don't be overeager, learn, dive into it, define it. How do we do that? We're going to set goals. We're going to break down checkpoints, different ways to evaluate our progress. And what are we going to do? We're not going to do that to-do list. No, we got rid of that. What do we call it now? That's a success list. We're going to make a success list and cross those things off one by one. What is the environment that allows you to do that efficiently and effectively? We're going to surround ourselves with individuals who push you or maybe trying to scratch the same itch. You want to start running on Saturdays? Join a run club. You want to start reading 10 pages of a book every day, maybe a chapter every day, finish a book in a month? Join a book club. Surround yourself with individuals who are trying to scratch that same itch. And then once you have the tools, once you've defined it, once you have a group that you can be successful with, you must attack that with 100% effort. If you're going to be better at what you're doing, dive in head first, give it your all so you have no regrets. Does that mean you're going to have perfection? By no means, no, you're not. There is going to always be room for improvement. We are not perfect. We never will be.
And we don't want to be perfect. Like, what we're talking about today and the goal of this podcast is not to be perfect. If you are perfect, let me know. Like, I want to figure it out. I want to learn. But that's not the goal. The goal is not perfection. There's always room for improvement.
Most definitely. And when you understand that, you can have a bad day, learn from it, and chalk it up. It doesn't drag you down into this pit of you're not perfect and this perfection that you're chasing. You can chalk it up, learn from it, move to the next day. You're going to do one more day. And then the next day, you're going to do one more day. And you're going to run one more time. You're going to read one more book. You're going to stack and stack and stack and stick to those days to where you have continuous wins. We're going to pull back here to a guy that we both listen to very much. And I think that if you're a part of our listening crew, you should be diving into this man and his content as well, Ed Milet. We are going to discuss a little bit of the power of one more. So imagine whatever skill that you're learning and that has created, there's this hurdle that's popped up, this difficulty. You're in a little bit of a rut. You, instead of giving up, you're going to try one more time. Instead of just totally giving up, you're going to do it for one more day. You're going to give it one more try. You're going to do one more rep. That perseverance that you build and the confidence that you build by doing one more is going to get you through that hurdle. It's when you totally quit or give up that you find yourself on your heels and in trouble. Now we're going to dive into a little bit of a deeper part here with the itch. And what that means is how hard it is to settle down in one spot. For me, and for many of you listening, especially for our college listeners, it's hard to pick one path of a career.
Jesus Christ.
It's so tough. I mean, how many times did you switch your major? How many times did I switch my major? It's so tough, man. And you're trying to scratch this itch because you have all these presidents that are in front of you, these expectations. You don't want to let your family down. You don't want to let your friends down, a coach, a teacher, whoever it may be. And it is so hard to pick one path. But I challenge you to not get comfortable. I challenge you to continue to grow and learn. Because the feeling of the regret from the unknown versus the feeling of finding out and learning, there is such a huge, substantial difference between the two. Imagine this. You have this extravagant dream. You're going to graduate college. You're going to move to Texas. You're going to work for this real estate company. You have this all planned out. You know the apartment, the area. You love it. But, it just sounds really hard. I don't have the funds. I don't have the support. I don't have the connections. So I'm just going to pocket that dream and it'll be in another life. That feeling of regret because you don't know will haunt you forever. That itch will never, ever remotely be scratched. But let's say you take the flip side, you do move, you take the risk, you have the support, and you go to Texas and pursue that dream. It doesn't work out. You know what? You pursued that dream, it doesn't work out. That feeling of finding out and learning is much more substantial and will benefit you much more in your future than that feeling of regret.
We're going to talk about this in episodes in the future, but what are you willing to sacrifice? Are you willing to sacrifice your dream in this scenario of moving to Texas, becoming a real estate agent? Are you willing to sacrifice that for what? To have a common job that everybody else in your town has? I think as Hunter and I sit here, we have similar backgrounds. And there's a couple things that are different from us, and we have different interests, but our passion towards helping you and helping others in this industry, in this world, in this age group, one of the biggest pieces that we can say is, do not let somebody else chase your dreams and you don't. You will always be able to go back home. You'll always be able to find a job at a bar. I have a buddy right now who might drop everything and chase a dream of his in the baseball world because he loves baseball, he loves coaching baseball, and he wants to give kids the opportunity that he didn't necessarily have. And so they might be starting this baseball league. And guess what? That's like that's so scary. I'm not sure that I would do it. Like, that's so scary. But that's his dream. And guess what? If it fails, I was talking to him on the phone the other day. If it fails, I was like, what's the worst thing that happens? He's like, I don't know. The worst thing that happens is I don't make money for 2 years, and then I just go get the same job that I have now. Like, yo, that is okay. That's fine. That's okay. Because you have to find your own itch. And there's different categories, right? If you're a single person right now, and your career is that itch that you need to scratch, you have to be willing to drop everything and go. If you, right now, got a call from the Tennessee Titans, was like, hey man, like I got this really cool opportunity, would you take it?
I'd drop everything and move right now. But I'm a single young adult who has the world's my oyster. And I would drop everything because of the situation I'm in. But I think obviously, as you're going to allude to here, it depends on where you fall in that category.
Well, we're gonna talk about a couple different categories, right? Like single, dating, married, with kids. And obviously with the kids portion, these are opportunities that have been told to me. Right now, if I have an opportunity with Tennessee Titans that presents itself, I might not take it. Because my itch right now is not grow as fast as I possibly can in my career. My itch is to provide for my wife and have very, very high level relationships, which I'm building right now here in Arizona. And so we talk about this in front of a mic, in front of a camera today, which is hilarious because there's literally nobody around except for Callie, and she's in the room back there, and literally we're just talking to a camera. But the reason we're doing it is because we've heard and experienced it from other people. You have to find your own. Don't take our itch. But if you're in that spot, it's okay to take a risk. If you're dating and you have the itch to take the next step with somebody, do it. If you're married and you have the itch to take care of the other person, my itch is to take care of Callie forever, I'm going to do that. I'm going to do everything I can to do that. I have been told when you have kids, you work harder because you have an itch to provide for the kids. Again, I don't know that unless I don't have kids, unless Callie's not telling me something yet. I don't know for positive, right? But find the itch that you have passion towards. Find the itch that you want to pursue, right? Here's something that was alarming when we were doing research. We're going to talk a little bit of financial state. If you're in finance, cool. You can back me up if you want. I actually want you to kind of challenge me a little bit. If you want to invest in a 401k at 7% interest, which is pretty common, let's say you're going to put $500 a month in, okay? You start at the age of 25, right now, our age. By the time you're 65, it'll be worth over $1.5 million, okay? The reason I'm saying this is because I want you to understand how powerful your youth is. How powerful, right now where you are, how powerful you are at this early age. Because at the exact same amount of money in the exact same 401k at the exact same interest rate, starting at the age of 30, there's only $920,000. You start at the age of 40, it's only worth $380,000. You start at the age of 50, it's only worth $160,000. The same is your career path. The same. You have power in your youth. You need to start young. You need to take your itch and move with it now. School starting, right now. For high schoolers, for college kids, school starting. Now is the time to invest in your career. It is now. Go get involved in your school. Go to different programs. Go to different clubs. Get different jobs. Find different friend groups. Go to intramural sports. Find a band, an art group, a music group. Go to the career fairs. Go to the opening session with all the kids. Don't think, oh man, none of the cool kids are going, man. I just kind of want to be cool. I don't really feel like going. It's kind of awkward. It's kind of weird. Guess what? I'm coming after people right now. Oh man, I don't want to go to those things. Like, feels weird, feels awkward. You know what really feels weird and awkward? When you graduate without a job and all your peers are in their career paths and you're stuck at home. That's going to feel real freaking awkward. So get out right now when you have youth, and maybe it'll feel a little less awkward when you have a career path.
And, as we dive through these points, why do people sometimes not scratch their itch? Why do they not take that leap of faith? It's because when they evaluate it and they set the steps and they define it like we discussed, they don't think they can add any more to their plate.
Oh, I'm so busy.
I'm so busy. I'm so tired. Tired's in motion, right? We've dove into that. Guess what? You can add more. I promise you, you can add more. We've talked about it. When you need something done, give it to the busiest person. They'll figure it out. They will figure it out. You can add more to your plate. You will adapt, and you will grow. I'm going to give you an example coming from a personal experience here. Moving to a new city, starting with the Diamondbacks. Starting an entry-level job, inside sales, for those of you who are familiar, is a grind. If you want to get promoted, if you want to prove your worth to an organization, you are going to be grinding, and you should be. So I've already got that on my plate, which for most would be enough, right? A new city, I'm in an unfamiliar environment, and I'm grinding at a job, working long hours. Guess what? I get a call from some guy named Tanner Natsky. He says, hey man, I'm going to be starting up this podcast. Do you want to help? Let's see here. I think I probably took him up on that opportunity. I think I'm helping him. Hence why I got this, for you, those of you who can see, hence why I got this ink mark on my hand, because we're on a Sunday and we're working to make content for you guys to help you get better, to impact lives in a positive way. Now I have to add on responsibility with the promotion that I earned at the end of January of this year. On top of that, hey, you know what, Hunter, you're a halfway decent athlete. How about a men's slow pitch league? Heck yeah, I want to compete. Put me in that. And now, here at Attitude Effort Results specifically, we have a new team. We continue to grow. We continue to challenge one another. And we have the mentorship of Cole, diving into his sales practices. Hence, you want to add more to your plate, you will adapt, you will grow. I promise you, you can. But there's a major, major component. How can you do this and how can you do it well? You have to have discipline. For those of you just joining us in Season 2, I challenge you to go back to Season 1. Shout out episode 15. It's a killer. I don't even think we had video yet. And that is Discipline Breeds Success. Go check it out. But once you have your discipline set in place, you understand how to fill your cup, you understand how to recharge, and that allows you to add more to your plate because you're very efficient. You cannot stray away from what makes you happy, whether that's going to the gym, whether that's reading a book, whether that's playing the guitar for 30 minutes at night and getting better, FaceTime with family and friends. You have to be able to fill your cup and make yourself happy.
It sounds relatively familiar to The Pursuit of Excellence. If you guys haven't listened to that one, go listen to that one. What we are trying to get across right now, what we are so passionate about, is that when you get the itch, you are one of the elite. Because not everybody has it. There's a lot of people in the world. It blows my mind working in the sports industry. How many people come in at 9 and leave at 5? And it has nothing to do with the timing of it. They could come in at 8 and leave at 3. I wouldn't care. They could come in at 8 and leave at 7. I wouldn't care. It's not the timing of it. It's the thought process and the mindset behind it. I have to be in there at 9, and I have the opportunity to leave at 5, and they take it. When you have this itch, when you have something inside of you, I don't know what it is. When you have something inside of you that tells you to keep going, you are one of the elite. And one of the things that I applaud you for is having that. And what people will do is they'll try to be perfect and they'll stray away from the itch. They'll stray away from pursuing excellence. Guess what? The goal in life is not to be perfect. There is no end goal. Newsflash, there's no end goal. We're doing this podcast right now, no end goal. No end goal in sight.
Finish line. There's no finish line.
And we talk about goals all the time. we talk about goals all the time, and they're important. There's no end goal. The goal is to continually grow personally, professionally. Writing these episodes allow us to grow personally and professionally. And now we have the opportunity, because of the platform that God has given us, to hopefully impact you, to hopefully have you impact others. The goal is to create a community around us that is so strong that you can never be broken. I just thought of something. And it's a little off topic, but I'm one to go off topic every now and then. Somebody came to me probably 6 to 8 months ago. They're like, hey, these are like questions that get thrown around the office all the time. Oh, if you were a cookie, what flavor would you be? You're like, and then you just debate it for 10 minutes. Like when we were in Miami, we would debate football all the time. Like, oh, well, if Tua was on the Steelers, like how good would the Steelers be? Like, oh, if Derrick Henry was with the Colts, like how good would they be, right? Well, is it Belichick or is it Brady? I don't know which one's the best, right? Somebody came to me with the question, said, would you rather go to jail or be homeless? Think about it. Would you rather go to jail or be homeless? And this question was directed at a person who has never done either. So if you've been to jail or if you've been homeless, this doesn't apply to you. I said homeless. What would you choose?
I would choose homeless as well.
People thought I was nuts. People literally thought I was nuts for saying that I would rather be homeless than go to jail. And I was like, listen, I'm going to give you 2 reasons why. The first is kind of funny. The second is real. The first is I recognize that I'm a white male. Jail probably wouldn't go that well for me. I'm just throwing it out there, okay? The second is real. You could give, if I was given nothing but my phone book of contacts, you don't even have to give me a phone. I have so many people, because of the relationships I've created, because of the people in my life, nothing really that I've done, but because of the individuals in my life, nobody in that contact book would let me sleep on the street. I'm very confident in that. And I expect that it was the other way around. I expect them to feel the same way about me.
Most definitely. And I'm afraid probably if you decide to go to jail, that's not going to be swept off your record anytime soon.
That's also true.
That's another very tactical answer there.
It's also true. But the point I'm making is, like, who's in your community? Do they have the same itch as you? Do they have the passion? Right now, Hunter and I, it's a Sunday afternoon. It is beautiful outside here in Arizona. Actually, today there are clouds in the sky, which is weird. Usually there's not. There's so many other things that we could be doing, but we have the same itch, we have the same passion, we have the same goals. So who's in your community that have the same goals as you? That to me is impactful. And there's sometimes it's kind of fun to chase the unknown. To just throw yourselves to the wolves, man. Just get out there. And you get to come back on top. Because I love a challenge. You love a challenge.
Love a challenge.
That's why we in the same boat, man. I love having no idea where I'm going, which is wild, because we're going to find a way to succeed.
I'm afraid I know that all too well, Tanner. You love getting that plane up in the air, and we're going to figure out how to fly it when we're up there. I'm not sure how we even get it off the ground to begin with, because you got to know how to fly a plane to get it up in the air, but we continue to piece it together because we love finding a way. You know, we believe in due time, God's going to help us out, and we're going to find a way. And that's the beauty of it, because we want to be thrown to the wolves and come back on top, because, man, That's one of the best feelings out there.
Dude.
That is one of the best feelings out there when you can have a camaraderie that can trust, that has each other's back, that are elite individuals and can build off one another.
It is, you say this, the saying, get the plane off the ground and figure it out, and I say that a lot too. Like let's put this plane in the air, and then we just figure it out from there. We just bought $1,000 worth of camera and lighting. I didn't even know how to work the camera when we bought it. I probably could have turned it on, but we knew nothing else. Nothing else. We're like, yep, look, let's go. Let's do it. Let's go get this thing done. People out here want to continue to see videos. Our social media team needs better quality. Let's go do it. You guys are like, damn, you spent $1,000. How much money are you making? Still nothing. We still at zero. Cole's going to get us there. We're going to get a couple. But we're still at zero. But the reason that that's so impactful is because we're going to look back in a year and we're going to be like, man, should we add a second or third camera? Maybe we need a different video. Maybe we buy a studio. We have no idea where it's going. We were in church together this morning. Again, we have the same goals. We were in church together this morning. Our pastor said that he just bought a church. He has no idea who's going to preach. Maybe he's going to do video. He has no idea how it's going to work. And we just raised $6 million for the church.
This is a couple bucks.
And he has no idea. So you guys are out there like, now, man, I really want to go to the gym, but I have no idea how. Man, I really wanted to work in sports. I have no idea how. First of all, listen to this podcast and reach out to us. Like, please, this is literally why we're doing it. I have no idea how to do this, and everything has to be perfect for it. No, it doesn't have to be perfect. You just have to do it. You just have to go. We have no idea how this new church location is going to go, and we just raised $6 million. I didn't know how to turn the camera on, and we bought a nice camera for this podcast. So think progressively. Be outside the box. Do something different, because you will continue to grow once you get in that space.
Most definitely. And I think that we have to take a second here and actually thank our listeners. Thank the people in our Attitude Effort Results community, because they continue to give us the itch. We're both very driven individuals, but they continue to feed our itch that we can't quite scratch. And it's scary to think in year 3 where we're going to be, because we're going to continue to chase that itch as we continue to get it fed from our listeners. And it pushes, as you said, progressive thinking. It pushes you to have continuous self-improvement. And we thank all of our listeners for that. We are very, very blessed for that. What does that look like, though? Tanner and I can have all these extravagant ideas. You guys can give us feedback. We can have wonderful conversations. But if we don't grow, then what's it for? So I challenge us to grow 1% each day. I challenge Tanner and I to learn how to turn on this camera and use it efficiently. I challenge us to continue to grow and get better for you guys. You don't have to go from one extreme to the other in one day. We're going to grow 1%. We're going to go from doing 1 push-up to 10 push-ups the next day. We're going to go from,
you don't need to
I'm
do
getting
that.
it all twisted. I'm already getting ahead of myself. I got so much of an itch, I can't help myself. Instead of going from 1 push-up to 10 push-ups, we're going to go from 1 to 2. Then we're going to go from 2 to 3. Then we're going to go from 3 to 4. Instead of going from 10 pages in a book, then we're going to go from instead of 10 to 20. I'm getting way ahead of myself, brother. I got so much of an itch, I can't even calm down. Instead of going from 10 pages all the way to 20, we're going to go from 10 to 11. Then we're going to go from 11 to 12. You guys get the process here. We have to continue to grow and make it part of our routine. You have to be and embrace the itch. It has to become part of who you are. And when you don't chase that itch, that feeling of regret from the unknown starts to haunt you a little bit. You start to get kind of this feeling of being guilty or weak because you have not continued to chase the process that you set in place. You must chase and scratch that itch.
Ed Milet talks about it a lot. If your goal is to go from waking up at 7:30, which is when America wakes up, if you haven't listened to those episodes, listen to them. You want to go from being average and waking up at 7:30 to less average. I don't know if that's the right saying, but we're going to go with it. You want to go from being average and waking up at 7:30 to less average and waking up at 5:30, you don't wake up the next day at 5:30.
Right.
It's 15 minutes, and then do 15 minutes for a month. Wake up at 7:15 for a month. You will never, ever remember or be, oh my gosh, I need those 15 minutes back my day. No, your body won't care after a month. And now guess what? Now you go from 7:15 to 7 o'clock the next month. And then from 7 o'clock to 6:45 the next month. I was waking up at 5:30 every day, and I was getting pretty rushed to get to work. And I listened to this. I've listened to Ed Milet tell me that. No joke, 40 times. And all of a sudden it clicked, and I was like, I can just get up earlier. How about that, Tanner? Stop being lazy and waking up at 5:30 and have to do something with your life and wake up earlier. So I wake up at 5:15 now. In a month, I'm going to try 5. And if it doesn't work, then I go back to 5:15. And if it works, then I go to 5. I think I wake up pretty early. And then you start talking to people. They're like, damn, dude, you up at 4? 4:15? 4:30? How does that happen? One at a time. That's it. Because people in today's world are lazy. And most people are losers. They just are. It sounds harsh. But guess what? You're not one of them, because you're listening and you want to get better and you want to grow. And because of listening to today's episode, you now have the tools to create actionable steps on your journey to becoming great, your journey to becoming successful, your journey to becoming elite. Listen, please, as we start season 2, just go follow and share everything with all the new friends you met and all the clubs and all the introductory events, even though they're not cool. The first couple weeks of school year, just go share everything. And if you're a young professional or an adult, then I ask you to just share it with one person. Because we're not going to grow from, we probably have 1,500 to 2,000 people watching each Instagram reel right now. We're not going to go from 2,000 to 1 million this year. But guess what? If we go from 2,000 to 2,500 in the next 6 months, it's beautiful. Because it has nothing to do with our ratings. It has nothing to do with our faces on there. It has everything to do with us impacting people. With the platform that God has given us, providing opportunity. We literally just talk with words out of our mouth. That's the only thing that we do. We just literally have sounds coming out of our mouth right now.
And I'm usually just doing more writing, so, as you can see.
Listen, we're going to do it one at a time. You want to be elite, it's just one at a time. And if you have that itch, just keep chasing it and find others who have it as well. Any closing remarks?
I think I need to go scratch my itch, brother. I'm fired up after this episode, and I am so excited to be on this side of the camera, brother.
I love it. Well, let's impact others and continue to grow together.